Hello, football fans. I'm Logan Carney, bringing you tonight's huge matchup between the number 7 ranked McKeesport Tigers and your number 8 ranked Plum Mustangs. Last week at Mustang Stadium, your Mustangs enjoyed a 49-23 win over Collinsville that put them 4-1 in section, 5-1 on the year. The game wasn't always that much of a blowout for the Mustangs, however, as Collinsville held a lead for majority of the first half, but only reached 10-6 at its last point. The Mustangs would then put the Falcons away in the second half on senior night. In that game, sophomore quarterback Corey Thomas went 9-4 passing, good for 159 yards and 1 touchdown, but he also had 1 interception. The run game was split between multiple packs, but it was Kevin Brown who had the most carries with 10 that went for 59 yards and a touchdown. That being said, Nick Coxon had the biggest night on the ground, rushing for 80 yards with 2 touchdowns on just 9 carries. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though, as the two teams combined for 26 penalties in the game. Your Mustangs accounting for 16 of them, and it cost Plum 135 yards. Your Mustangs are, of course, coached by former NFL player Matt Morgan. McKeesport enters this game the same record of 4-1 in conference, 5-1 overall. Last week, they won 49-14 over the Hopewell Vikings. McKeesport's defense returned 2 of their 3 interceptions for touchdowns. Known for the running game, McKeesport compiled 360 yards rushing last week, which was split up between 9 different people. Division I prospect Khalid Hudson, who also had a defensive touchdown last week, had the most yards with 76 on 6 carries, which was good for 1 touchdown. Giselle Allen also had a strong game, rushing for 74 yards on just 5 carries, also finding the end zone once last week. McKeesport would be led by head coach George Smith. We are now at the newly renamed George L. Smith Field. Once again, I'm Logan Carney. Joining me in the booth tonight will be fellow students Dylan Fantone, Nolan Carney, newcomer Noah Frederick, and after getting the game off last week, the real deal is back, Mr. Rick Barat. Now, guys, it's easy to see that this game is extremely important for both teams. What will Plum have to do against McKeesport today to not only win a huge section game, but go into Penn Trafford 2-game win streak?
Well, guys, before we get into our pregame, we're actually, because Plum came out a little bit late here, we're actually starting kickoff, so we'll have to work in our pregame during the game. We're glad to have Noah Frederick joining the broadcast team tonight. So away we go.
Jacob Chaplet will kick off, and it'll be a short kick. It'll go out of bounds right about the 40, so there's the flag there.
Looked like Plum was trying some sort of onside kick there, guys. I think Jake got under the ball, but took a bounce and immediately went out of bounds. So referees throw a flag. I think McKeesport will. I don't believe we're squishing the window here with former TV production student and the gentleman that films for Plum football, Matt Parrish. I don't think they re-kicked. They will just take the ball right where it went out of bounds as Matt's nodding his head. Yes, excuse me. So the Tigers start off with great field position at the 39, at their own 39-yard line.
So now McKeesport starting their own 39-yard line. In that quarterback is number 7, Tymar Sutton. He will hand the ball off to number 25, Jaleel Allen, who will get down the outside line, and he is going past the 20, down past the 10, and into the end zone for McKeesport Tigers touchdown. So on the first play of the game, Giselle Allen, we talked about him in a short pregame. He had a big game last week, and he starts it off right off the bat with a huge touchdown for McKeesport.
That is not the way Plum wants to start this game, Logan. Going into a team like McKeesport, being down a touchdown, starting out early on, that's rough. It's going to be a hard recovery early on. We'll see how the offense is going to handle it.
So in the kickoff now we will see Jordan Layton, McKeesport Tigers kicker, Sutton the holder. This one is up and this one is good. So McKeesport takes a 7-0 to lead here early, with just one play into the game. So with 11:50 remaining in the first quarter, we will see the Mustangs start their first drive. Just 10 seconds in the game, McKeesport is already up 7-0 on the huge run by Giselle Allen.
Mustangs going to have to fight hard here on the offensive side to counteract the touchdown scored on the first snap of the game. We'll see whether they rely on the run, whether they try to scratch a couple points off early with the deep ball, perhaps the teeter.
So coming in to return, we'll see Patrick Crossy. He had one returned for a touchdown a couple weeks ago. He's had a bunch on the year, but most of them have gotten called back.
Plum's spectacular special teams unit looking to make a big play. Something we talk about a lot in the broadcast booth, Logan, is special teams. So we'll see if they could get some good field position here for the offense, make it a little easier.
And the kickoff is number 36, Ray Zellers. For McKeesport, Patrick Crossy back to return. And the kick is up. And it will be returned. He will take it at about the 12-yard line. He'll get down past the 20, and he's running down the sideline, pound past the 30, the 40. He's getting passed across down the 50, and he's still on his feet. He'll get knocked out of bounds. Looks like at the 50-yard line. But what a run by Patrick Crossy. What a great return there.
Now that is one great way to come back after an early touchdown by McKeesport. Plum's set up with good field position. They just have to drive the ball down the field and really get it in the end zone.
So now we will see Corey Thomas in our quarterback. Corey Thomas, we mentioned last week, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's developing to a very good quarterback. Mobile and has a great arm. He will hand the ball off. That is Nick Coxon, who will run up the middle and get. Looks like they're going to give him 4 yards on that one. So there's now 11:21 remaining in the first quarter. He's 2nd down and 6. Ball in the 46. And the Mustangs looking to tie this game up here on this drive after the quick one-play drive of McKeesport to put them up 7-0 early in this game. Man in motion. Corey Thomas in shotgun, and he will throw. He has some time. He will just overthrow Ashton Teeter. So now we will see 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Something we always talk about with Corey starting at quarterback. He's got the talent, but we don't quite know if he has the experience. So this is obviously learning for him, and he's developing as a quarterback. So it's exciting to watch him gain more knowledge about the game, Logan.
Corey Thomas will again be in shotgun. And he rolled a low snap there. It looks like Plum will get on top of it. But that will kill all Plum's chances of tying this game up here on their first drive. So now with 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter, we see Jacob Chapela come out to punt it. Back to return for McKeesport will be number 21, Kalik Hudson, and number 20. And Kalik Hudson will run up the sideline. He will get down past the 40 and get knocked out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. There's a flag on the play. We apologize for a bit technical difficulties there. We don't know if you were able to hear us, but we could not hear ourselves for a little bit. And there's a Mustang down on the field. We called it a block in the back call.
Oh, Mike Anderson appears to be lying on the ground at about the 35-yard line. No sound.
And he's got up and he will trot off the field. And again, we're still having a bit of technical difficulties. So we're trying to figure out our press box up here. A beautiful night for football. Nice, perfect weather. Great game for a very, very important game.
One thing about this McKeesport team, you gotta watch Hudson. He's dangerous. He's good on defense. He's good on offense. He'll get you when you're not expecting it, just like we saw on that special teams play.
And on that play there, Tymar Sutton tried to keep it, but Nicholas Coxon will get back there, and it'll be a loss of 1 on the play. So we see 2nd down and 11 now with 9:40 remaining in the first quarter.
A Mustang stop here would be huge, Logan.
And Sutton, he will keep it and run on the side. He will toss it back. There's Khalid Hudson back there. He'll get the ball up, and he will run and get tackled about the 40-yard line. Opposite is actually Mark Cromartie. Another one of their many good running backs here. So that'll be 1st and down, 1st and 10, ball on the 40-yard line with 9:18 remaining in the first quarter.
McKeesport definitely has a lot of depth, Logan, in the running back position. They don't have to rely on their stars much, Khalid Hudson, and that's certainly going to be a factor for them at play. You know, don't want to tire them out. Hudson, 76 yards, 6 carries last game, and a touchdown. He's certainly a force to be reckoned with.
And this time they will hand it off to Cromartie again, and he will get 3 yards. So we see 2nd down and 7 now. McKeesport, if you're just joining us, still leading 7-0. On their first drive of the game, they got the ball at the 39-yard line, handed off to Jasal Allen, who turned and ran it all the way for a touchdown. There's now 8:30 remaining in the first quarter. 2nd down and 7. And it'll be a pitch to Hudson. Hudson's going to run to the outside. He'll get down past the 50. He's going on the 40. He's still on his feet. He breaks the tackle, and he'll get tackled down at about the 33-yard line. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for McKeesport coming up for the Tigers. There is 8:14 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, guys, Plum has to tighten it up here on defense. This is exactly how they envisioned not starting. They tried to get the ball first on that onside kick. 1 play from McKeesport for the touchdown. Plum went 3 plays and out.
And Tymar Sutton on the keeper. Looks like he will get nothing. So we see 2nd down and 10 coming up here. McKeesport still leading this game.
We know this is a well-coached George Smith team. When George Smith wasn't the coach and he retired the first time, McKeesport dropped back a little bit into the rest of the pack. We know they run this wishbone, a lot of misdirection. Sutton's an outstanding quarterback, and Khalid Hudson's a Division I prospect.
And they run up the middle. He will get down to the 26-yard line. That was Khalid Hudson. So we see 3rd down and
probably 3, looks like. We'll have trouble, ladies and gentlemen, getting a shot of the scoreboard. As we're sharing a window here with Matt Paris, we can almost get the entire field. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of us pretty much in a glorified closet right now. Wouldn't you say so, Nolan?
Yeah, it's not the ideal situation, but we're
Not at
here
all.
bringing you the Mustang game.
And this is probably 4-down territory also, guys.
so 7:05 remaining in the game. He will hand it off to Hudson. Hudson will power his way for a 1st down.
No doubt.
And he will get to the 20-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 20 with 6:33 remaining in the first quarter. If you
I'm sorry, Logan, go ahead.
If you can hear a little bit, that is our cameraman Dylan Fantone telling us the time is, like Mr. Brott said, is very, very tough to see the scoreboard up here in the booth. So we apologize for any inconvenience.
Logan, last game, we talk about the depth they have at running back at McKeesport. They had 9 different running backs, 36 carries, split between 9 different running backs, 4 touchdowns, split between 9 people taking snaps.
And Tamar Sutton will run up the middle, and he will get past the 20, and he will get past the Mustangs man and run into the end zone for what looks like a touchdown. They singled it. Yes, they have signaled a touchdown. So McKeesport will extend their lead here early with 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. Your score will be 14-0 depending on the extra point, as we will see number 24, Jordan Layton, come out and attempt the extra point here. And there's the snap. The kick is up, and it's a very low kick, but it is good. So McKeesport, early into this football game, will take a 14-0 lead here.
Yeah, it's exactly, if you're Plum, guys, this is not good news. McKeesport they're doing what they do well. They have run it down Plum's throat, and they've come out here with 2 quick touchdowns halfway through the first quarter, so it's going to be up to Plum to respond. Plum has responded before. Last week when I was out in Philadelphia for my son's soccer tournament, I know you guys, through the grapevine, I heard through Mr. LaVarse that we were down against Connellsville. Now, obviously, Connellsville is a different quality opponent than the McKeesport Tigers, but, you know, this is going to test Plum's intestinal fortitude right now to see if they can respond to the Tigers. We were able to keep McKeesport last year, both games under 20 points, 20-3 and 20-5 in the playoffs. So it'll be up to Plum here. They're going to need good field position, and they're going to have to come out now and attack the McKeesport defense.
I believe that was junior quarterback Javon Shears on the touchdown. Junior quarterback Javon Shears, not Tymeer Sutton.
So you heard it was Javon Shears by our newcomer Noah Frederick. So kickoff for the Tigers will be Ray Zellers, and back to return will, of course, be Patrick Crossy, one of the better return men in Whippeals. And the kick is up, and this one is returnable. Crossy will take it about the 5, and he will run up the middle and get not past the 20. So the Mustangs will start this drive at the 20 with 5:58 remaining in the first quarter.
Mustangs ball at the 20. This is a crucial drive. They got to fire back. They got to punch one in here, at least put 3 points on the board. Just, you know, going into the second quarter with some points is definitely a whole lot better than going in without any points, obviously.
So 1st and 10 from their 25:58 remaining in the first quarter. Mustangs down 14-0 if you're just joining us. Corey Thomas in a quarterback. He is in shotgun. He ran the ball off to Brown. Brown will run to the outside. He'll get down past the 20. He'll break a tackle, break another tackle, but 3 men will wrap him up. He'll get a couple of yards there. So it looks like we will see 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Mustangs.
We saw earlier Mike Anderson got injured. I talked to him before the game. I said, Mike, how do you feel going into McKeesport? He sounded excited. He sounded enthusiastic. He was ready to play. Very unfortunate that he leaves this game with an injury, Logan.
We will bring you his status if we get word later in the game. Corey Thomas in at quarterback. He hand the ball off to Coxon. Coxon will run up the middle, and he will get 5 on that one. So you see 3rd down and 3 coming up with 5 minutes exactly remaining in the first quarter. As the Mustangs get their play called, and they're about to trot to the line here. You see 3rd down and 2. It looked like he got 5 on the play, but generous spot by the referees will put that one just 2 yards short of the 1st down. So Corey Thomas in at quarterback. And it looks like there may be a flag on a Mustang lineman, and that will push it back. You have false start call. Here's the official. So that will push the Mustangs back 5 yards, and now we will see 3rd down and 7 with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. So the Mustangs now will trot to the line. I've only seen them attempt a couple passes early. They've been passing more recently. Corey Thomas, they're in an empty backfield now. Obvious throwing situation here. And there's a flag. It looks like it'll be a timeout call for Plum. And that will stop the clock at 4:03 remaining in the first quarter. It's Plum's first timeout. They will have 2 more remaining in the half, and this is a good time for today's question. We will bring you the answer late in the game. Last year, Plum led 3-0 at half versus McKeesport. How long was Jake Chapla's field goal that put them up 3-0? We will bring you that answer later in the game.
So, Logan, you're telling me it could be either from 10 yards or from 50 yards. That's quite a range that that young man has.
We talk about him all year. One of the better legs in all of Whitfield Division I prospects.
He really adds something to this Mustang team, Logan. It's something that a lot of high schools don't have. A lot of high schools would really like to have a good, strong kicker who can punch one in at NFL distances almost, Logan.
Can I guess? Am I allowed to have a guess?
Yeah, you can have a guess.
Because I was at a soccer tournament in Washington, D.C. last year, so I missed that game. I am going to say his field goal was 40 yards.
40 yards?
That's my guess.
Well, we will tell you if it's correct later in the game. And looks like McKeesport will get the ball back here as we see the punt unit trot onto the field. The pass was deflected by the lineman. It was Antoine Cook. You heard over the loudspeaker, so we can hear up in the booth. We are right above the PA system.
One thing that Jacob Chapla has also started doing this year is punting the ball. He's integrated that into his game. It's very exciting. He's got a big leg, strong leg. He's learned how to punt, and he's doing it quite well.
And there's the punt. It was blocked, and it will go out of bounds at the 19-yard line. So McKeesport will start their drive inside their red zone. And that is unfortunate for the Mustangs, to say the least.
Low snap for Chapla. He bobbled the ball on the ground a little bit and just wasn't quite able to get it off on time. And that's huge defensive play for McKeesport. Right now the Mustangs just simply can't afford it.
No doubt, Noah. And the problem you're in now is McKeesport's ready to score again here, and 21-0 becomes a huge obstacle to try to come back on against this team. So Plum's going to have to come up with a defensive stand here, or a turnover. Plum has had 6 offensive plays so far tonight.
McKeesport will start this drive at their own 19 with 3:54 remaining in the first quarter. Tymar Sutton in a quarterback. You hand the ball off to Hudson. Hudson will have a lot of room and just easily run his way into the end zone. So the Mustangs still in the first quarter here will now be down 21-0 with 3:50 remaining in the first quarter.
Logan, when you're playing down in a game, score 21-0 or more, it's crucial that you capitalize on the mistakes that the other side of the ball makes. McKeesport capitalized on a mistake by the Mustangs on that punt, put them in some good field position. The Mustangs are going to have to do the same.
So now we see the kicker come out, and he will kick. This one is short again, low kick, and it's missed left. So actually be 20-0 here.
Well, that's positive, guys.
That's something to look forward to.
So Plum now down 20-0, down by 3 scores, and they're definitely going to have to move the ball. Any chance of running the ball now is going to have to be put on the back burner. They're going to have to come out and pass and try to get back in this game. And they have all game. We are at how much time's left, guys? I can't even look at the clock because I'm so far back.
3:50 remaining.
3:50 left, so in the first quarter. So Plum has the rest of the first quarter and the entire second quarter to
come back against the Tigers, and we'll see what happens here as Plum will take the field here eventually for the kickoff. Coach Kyle Simmons there with a little bit of a pep talk as the kickoff unit comes back onto the field.
In the kickoff now again will be 36 Ray Zellers. Patrick Crossy back to return. He's returned both today, both the first one all the way to the 50, the last one just to the 20.
It is of much importance here that the Mustangs get good field position, give their offense a chance
to score.
Of course, yes.
And then they're going to have to do something they haven't done all game.
Pass the ball.
Well,
down the field.
Stop McKeesport defensively.
And here's the kick. It is up, and this one is returnable about the 6-yard line. Crossy will run up the middle, and he will run into his own guys and get tackled about the 26-yard line. So the Mustangs will start this drive. 1st and 10, ball on the 26 with 3:43 remaining in the first quarter. They're down 20-0 here. McKeesport scoring all of their plays on runs. We saw last year in the regular season, they came into the game throwing just 12 passes, and then they threw 2 touchdown passes against the Mustangs.
I believe one you guys said was the halfback option.
Yes, one. The first one, I believe. They weren't long throws, but they were very short, and just great play calling by McKeesport.
Plum comes out with trips to the left.
Corey Thomas will hand this one off to Coxon. Coxon will get to the outside, and he will run into the McKeesport defender, who will slam him to the ground. And it will be 2nd down, and looks like they're going to give him 6 on that one. So we see 2nd down and 4.
Is it me, guys? I don't know if because we're in the back corner of the press box, trapped in a closet, but the crowd, even the McKeesport home crowd, very quiet. Now, granted, the student section's on the opposite side of the field, you know, Nolan. No, you can see him over there, but it seems very quiet.
Not a lot of activity going on below us.
No, not at all.
So Corey Thomas will hand it off to Coxon again, and Coxon this time will get to the 35-yard line.
I think what Coach Cooley, I'm sorry, Logan.
Be about a yard short with 2:48 left in the first quarter.
I think what Coach Cooley and Coach Morgan trying to do here, trying to do what Kiski did to Plum, is Kiski spread out Plum and ran between the certain gaps. Plum going with trips to the left, and
Corey Thomas on the keeper will get the 1st down.
And that is Plum's first down of the game, so something obviously to build on there, guys, is Jake Tessick coming off the field a little bit, talking to one of the coaches, as is Corey Thomas.
So 2:30 remaining in the first quarter. 1st and 10, ball on the 37 for the Mustangs. Corey Thomas runs to the huddle, and he will say the play, and his lineman will set up, and he will be in shotgun once again. Coxon lined up behind him. And there's a snap, and he will throw. And it's a deep ball down to Ashton Teeter, but he would just overthrow Ashton. They were running down, trying to get a quick deep pass in. So now we see 2nd down and 10, ball still on the 37-yard line.
That's a good look, Logan, on 1st down. Try to get something down the field. Try to spread the defense, see what you can get away with there. I like that call. We'll see what they can do on 2nd down, but now their focus has to be picking up the 1st down, getting some yards.
And Corey Thomas and his offense will trot to the line. He is in shotgun. Coxon lined up next to him. And there's a snap. He will hand the ball off, and Coxon will get nothing.
I think he actually might have lost a yard, guys.
Well, one line judge says he got nothing. The other one says he lost one. Nonetheless, it'll be 3rd down. And yes, they say he got to the line. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 1:40 remaining in the first quarter. Mustangs down 20-0. And 3 great run plays by McKeesport. early in this game.
So this is a big play here early on in the game for the Mustangs. They gotta convert. They can't give the ball back to the Tigers. McKeesport traditionally 4 down linemen. See if they blitz or not. Nope.
And Corey Thomas, he will throw. He scrambled to buy some time, and now he will run past the line, and he will run to the outside and get tackled at the 40-yard line, so that'll be not enough for the first down. So now we see the punt unit trot onto the field, and McKeesport will get the ball back.
McKeesport playing excellent defense on the pass. Corey Thomas didn't have a lot to do. Didn't see anybody. They rushed him. They blitzed him. He had to go outside.
Seemed like he had a hole outside. Just couldn't quite hit it all the way to the outside, and got tracked down at the very end of the play.
And there's the snap. Chappie will punt this one. And we'll take a Mustang bounce inside the 25-yard line. Looks like it'll be stopped at the 23. So McKeesport will start this drive at their own 23 with 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. They're up 20-0.
If you're a McKeesport Tigers fan, what a great way to start this game. A win here by the Tigers all but solidifies them as the 2nd seed in the section, which would guarantee them a home game in the first round of the playoffs. And they'll be playing for either, a 4, 5, or 6 seed probably. So they've started off. They couldn't start off any better, obviously. They scored a total of 20 points in each of the games against Plum last year, and they have 20 at the end of the first quarter.
And there's a flag on the play. What it looks like a Mustangs lineman and McKeesport offensive lineman got in a little extracurricular activities at the end of the play there, but penalty would be false start on McKeesport and back them up 5 yards. So now we see first down and 15, ball McKeesport's 18-yard line. Still 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. McKeesport leads this one 20-0. So first down and 15. Tymar Sutton in at quarterback, and he will fake the handoff and keep it, and he will then pitch it to the outside. There's number 20.
Still on his feet there a little bit.
Stayed on his feet a little late. There's number 20, Branson Smith. And it's actually Javon Shears in at quarterback, not Tymar Sutton. Tymar Sutton was taken out earlier in the game. And that will be the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one, McKeesport leads this one 20-0 on 3 run plays that they had early in this game. Not the way the Mustangs wanted to start out this one, but the Mustangs defense hopefully coming up a stop here on this drive to attempt to start this Mustang offense get back in this game.
Logan, this is a game on the schedule that I think we were all looking at. I remember back in the when I first started broadcasting, first game, we were looking at McKeesport. We were saying, I wonder how Plum's going to do. I wonder if they're going to go in and if they're going to go out with a victory. So far, it's not looking too good, but there's still lots of football left, Logan. McKeesport is a good team, but so are the Mustangs, and I wouldn't count them out quite yet.
No, I totally agree, Nolan. I mean, it's the end of the first quarter, and, I mean, Plum, you couldn't play a worse quarter. So now you have to put it behind you, and you have to look forward. And Plum needs to get a stop here on 3 downs, get the ball back, and dominate the second quarter like the Tigers dominated the first. And I'm not saying Plum needs to score 21 points, but they need to move the ball on McKeesport. And they need to be down by less than 2 scores or less at the end of this first half. So, and Plum will get the ball to start off the second half. So, you know, they'll have the opportunity to draw potentially within 1 score. But you have to deal with what's at hand right now. They must stop the Tigers.
McKeesport will start this quarter at their own 29-yard line. You see 2nd down and 3 coming up. And he'll drop the ball, and it'll be back to the 20. That is Cromartie, who will run to the outside and try and get at least something back. But nonetheless, it will put them all the way back to their own 18-yard line. So a huge break by the Mustangs there. Now we see 3rd down and long.
Well, I told you guys, no one's believing me. I'm the only one back here being positive, saying that Plum needs a stop and they need a stop now. So you guys are looking at me like I'm cockeyed, but they need a break like that. So now it's 3rd and a gazillion here, I think, for the Tigers. Now we'll call it like it is, actually. They have 15 to go. They're at the 19. They have to get to the 34. So, I don't think personally McKeesport's even going to attempt the pass. I think they're going to continue to keep this on the ground, kill some clock. We'll see. They have one wide receiver out to the right.
And they will keep it. They'll hand it off to Cromartie. Cromartie will shake a Mustang defender, and it looks like he might have gotten the first down. They will give him the first down.
Run.
Mr. Broad, this is what I talked about when I said that they need to capitalize on the mistakes of the other teams. That was a great opportunity. You get a stop on 3rd and 15. That's an opportunity you have to take as the Mustangs, because you're not going to get many more of those throughout the game.
No, and you know what? You're probably going to hear me say this a bunch. Plum hasn't played a quality opponent. I think Kiski surprised us a little bit, guys, when we were out there. But I think the way they're breaking tackles to come off the Connellsville game and to play McKeesport. I'd rather have played North Hills last week, which would prep you for, you know what I'm saying, would prep you for the Tigers game. But, just that last run that went for 16, 17 yards. A couple cuts, broke a couple tackles. That's unlike Plum to miss tackles. So, still have to come up here. They have to stop them. That was a very short gain, 1-yard gain by the Tigers. So it'll be 2nd and 9. And Dylan, you'll tell us the time. 10 minutes left to go in the 2nd quarter.
So 10 minutes left in the half. 2nd and 9. Ball on their own 36-yard line. Looks like still be Shears in at quarterback, and he will hand the ball off to Hudson. Hudson will break a tackle, and he will get by a couple more Mustang defenders, and he will carry a bunch for a couple more yards and get down inside the 40-yard line. So he'll be knocked down at the 39-yard line with 9:37 remaining in the half. McKeesport still leading 20-0 here early.
Kalik Hudson, 6'1", 210 pounds. He is a machine. That is what you look for in college type of running backs. He's fast. He'll break your tackles. He'll move the pile. He's definitely
exactly what he's doing now.
An asset towards McKeesport offense for sure.
Not even just offensively. He's very good defensively. He had a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown last week. And here they will not hand it off to Hudson. They'll hand it off to Cromartie. Cromartie also a very good back. Will get the first down. And it looks like he is going to run his way into the end zone for another McKeesport Tigers touchdown. So 26-0 now for McKeesport. We won't say 27 yet as they missed the extra point last time. And it looks like they might be going for 2 here. Yes, they will. They will indeed be going for 2. Shears in at quarterback.
And we'll have problems getting this since we can get the window seal from where we're at.
So Shears in at quarterback. And he will hand the ball off. That was number 25, Saul Allen, who ran the ball in for a 2-point conversion. So it's now 28-0 for McKeesport. This is a big win. It's a big lead for them and a huge game. Plum, number 8, coming in. McKeesport, number 7. Whoever wins this game will likely move up in the standings.
And just going back to that 3rd and 15. You make that stop. You maybe force a punt. You maybe force a errant down the field throw, and just you realize they were able to make that play, and it resulted in a touchdown from McKeesport. So Plum just really needs to hanker down on defense and just stop those 3rd down plays.
Plum definitely getting a bit of a reality check after coming off such a big win against Connellsville, obviously a lesser team than McKeesport. So this is something that they didn't want to do, go down this much in a game. It's something that they haven't faced a lot this season. So something new for Plum. We'll see how they respond.
So Patrick Rossi will come out to return. In the kickoff will again be number 36, Ray Zellers. Patrick Rossi has returned every single one. The first one going all the way to the 50-yard line. The other two, one to the 20, the other one to the 26. If there's anyone that can come with a huge play here, it is Patrick Rossi. You've seen it do it many times. A lot of those times it got called back, but not the last one he had against Kiski. A kickoff return in which he dropped the ball and then returned it 80 yards for a touchdown. And here is the kick up in the air. Crossy will return this at about the 6-yard line. He will drop it, but nonetheless he recovers and he will get past the 20. He's still on his feet now to about the 30-yard line. So he'll be down to the 29. So the Mustangs will start this drive at their own 29 with 9:02 remaining in the first quarter, down 28-0. McKeesport with a huge early lead here in an important game.
Well, guys, what I'm thinking, if you're Plum now, you got to forget about the scoreboard. You have to think it's 0-0, and let's put together a drive, get a couple first downs, and see where it leads us.
So 1st and 10, ball actually on the 30. That's what they will give him, the extra yards on the return. Thomas will hand the ball off to Coxon. Coxon will run up the middle for a gain of 4. So we see 2nd down and 6 here in the first half.
And one thing I think that the Mustangs really need to introduce is the screen game. They've been running it pretty well, excuse me, all year, and you haven't seen really much of that tonight. And I feel like if you want to get anything on offense, that's where you need to start. Just move the ball down the field, get some easy yards.
Especially, I think that's a good point. No, I think especially because the McKeesport linemen know they have to pass, so they're going to be pinning their ears back, trying to attack the quarterback. So if you can get it past those down linemen, you might have room to run.
It's Brown with the carry there. He will get a couple of yards. So you see 3rd down. Looks like 5 coming up here.
Mustangs playing very predictable football, inside runs. Most of their offense has been oriented around the run thus far. You got to think, Mr. Broad, that there has to be a time where they do try to throw the ball downfield.
There's 8 minutes remaining in the first half. McKeesport leads us 28-0 if you're just joining us.
Totally agree with you, Nolan. I mean, you got to open it up. You're down by 4 touchdowns. You have to. You're going to be mercy rolled.
Corey Thomason, a quarterback. He is in shotgun. He will throw. He will scramble, try and buy some time. He almost gets stripped, and he will stay on his feet as a couple of McKeesport defensemen wrap up him for the sack. And now we will see the punt unit trot onto the field again for the Mustangs. So now under 8 minutes remaining in the first half.
From up here, Logan, it looks like the problem with the Mustangs offense has been, with the passing game anyways, is protecting the quarterback. They run the ball, they get 4 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard. It's not going to get a first down. They're going to have to pass, and if they're going to want to complete a pass, they're going to have to give the quarterback much more time to do so.
There's the punt. It is a high punt. You see the fair catch. This is like a couple of McKeesport fans saying that Ashton Teeter touched the McKeesport returner as he called for the fair catch. But the referee and McKeesport will say he didn't.
And that could be a penalty. That's actually should be a penalty. It's up to the ref's discretion if he did it on purpose or not.
Well, it didn't look like from up here that he touched him, just maybe brushed him.
Yes.
The McKeesport returner did not make any reaction.
Certainly a potentially dangerous play as one fielding the punt obviously is defenseless,
sure, no
looking
doubt.
up, can't protect himself.
So 1st and 10, McKeesport will start this drive on their own 31-yard line. It'll be handoff to number 25, Jasal Allen, who will run up the middle for about 4 yards on that one. So we see 2nd down and 6.
And guys, I really think you might see McKeesport here want to hammer Plum. Let's get to 35 and then send the message that we just beat you and we beat you bad. I would not be surprised if they actually attempted to throw a pass on this drive. Would not shock me.
6:40 remaining in the half. And now in at quarterback is Tymar Sutton. He hasn't been the last couple of drives, but he is back in, and he will hand the ball off.
Good tackle.
To number 22, Mark Cromartie. And we'll see third down with 6 minutes remaining. Ball on McKeesport's 35-yard line, so it'll be third down and 6.
Mustangs not looking too bad on defense this drive. Just really need to continue to stop that inside run.
Totally agree, Noah.
Something the Mustangs defense has done a lot the past couple of years. Their defensive linemen have been great against the run.
Actually, guys, McKeesport sends 2 wide receivers to the right. There's movement there. Movement on the right side of the McKeesport line, so I'll make it 3rd and 11 for the Tigers.
That was a lucky break by the Mustangs. Number 21, Khalid Hudson, looked like he had a lane right to the end zone there on that one.
You get an idea of what McKeesport is trying to do right now. Looks like a pitch to the right side, stack up the receivers out there.
Exactly what Kiski did. Spread the Mustangs out, find a lane, and I think that pitch was to Hudson, if I was correct, right? 21?
Well, obviously they saw
Yes.
the inside runs weren't quite working as they thought. They wanted to dish it to the outside.
I think the arrogance, I think they're going to call the same play.
Same look, yeah.
So
Same
third
look.
and 11, ball on their own 30, 5:30 remaining.
Oh, he faked
And
it.
they will throw. Tymar Sutton will throw. He has a man open. He'll be just over the outstretched hands of receiver Fortery Morris.
Another big break by the Mustangs. Another lane right to the end zone for the receiver on that one. Just got lucky that the quarterback overthrew it.
So now we see, looks like we'll see.
Looks like a penalty, guys. Legal lineman, legal man down the field. The penalties declined, so even if that was complete, that play was coming back. So Plum declines it, obviously, 4th and 11. And Plum, for the first time tonight, guys, have stopped the Tigers. And let's see what Plum can do now on offense. They should get the ball back here in, McKeesport's punting from their 30. They should get the ball back in okay field position, hopefully.
Plum doing well thus far on the inside. The inside game, the line's really doing well, but as far as passing and running on the outside, that's a whole nother story.
Patrick Crossy back to return. There's the punt. There's a line drive. And we'll get by Crossy. So take a very, very McKeesport bounce into the Mustangs' 16-yard line. So the Mustangs will start this drive around 16, 1st and 10.
5 minutes remaining in the first half.
28-0. McKeesport leads this one if you're just joining us. I'm joined in the booth today with my brother Nolan Carney, newcomer Noah Frederick, the real deal Mr. Barat, and our great cameraman who's having himself a very tough game but a very good game, Dylan Fantone.
Plum has to put together some positive plays here, guys. Have to.
Now see Matt Goodland in at quarterback in shotgun. And he will throw, and it will be a screen pass to Crossy. Crossy will try and get some yards, and he will get a little. Looks like they're going to give him 3 yards on that one, so we see 2nd down and 7, ball on the 19-yard line.
Plum testing McKeesport defense, seeing what will work, what won't work. That's really all they can do right now.
You're right, Noel. See Matt come in. He hasn't played a lot in the last couple. I mean, at the end of the Connellsville game, which you guys told me, when Plum had a huge lead. So maybe he'll be able to spark the offense. I believe that's the thought process here.
He will hand the ball off to Coxon. Coxon will run the ball up the middle and get past the 20, be tackled at the 22-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 3. So we see 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Mustangs with 2:56 remaining in the half. 3:56, my apologies, remaining in the half.
first down is crucial here for the Mustangs.
No doubt, no doubt.
It's crucial for the Mustangs to go into the second half with some points on the board.
Matt Goodman in shotgun. Zach Nolan try motion in the middle, but he'll go back outside. And Goodman will throw. It'll be just underthrown.
Incomplete.
Intended receiver was Patrick Crossy. So now we will see the punt unit trot onto the field again for the Mustangs.
And this makes us a little worried here as McKeesport puts back, I believe that's Kalik Hudson and
Mark Cromartie.
Cromartie and Hudson.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cromartie had a punt return for a touchdown last week against Hopewell.
Chappie just really needs to show his powerful leg here and pin him back as far as he can.
And this one will go and it will bounce past the 50 and get out of bounds. It looks like the 47-yard line.
Puts McKeesport in very good position to get one last score here for the second half, except them to run out the clock, punch in a field goal, or try for a touchdown as well.
I think they're going to go for a touchdown. They're going for the kill. They're going for blood, Nolan. You know that. They didn't throw a pass all game until it was 3rd and 11. And that faked out Plum, the receiver could still be running like Forrest Gump. You know, so we have to see what the Plum defense comes up with here. They have to be aware of the pass because I think George Smith wants to get up by 35 here by halftime.
So 3:22 remaining in the half. McKeesport comes out. Some man in motion. They just hand it off. So it looks like number 21. It is Kalik Hudson. And Kalik
He's
Hudson
having a
with 3
real good
yards.
first half here. We'll get some stats at halftime.
So 3 minutes now remaining in the first quarter.
And McKeesport, Logan. McKeesport, no rush to get off a play. They're up by 20, and I do believe they want to score, but we'll take their time, and we'll leave Plum with any time.
In at quarterback now is Javon Shears, who's been splitting time this game with Tavon Sutton.
There's movement there by the left tackle, guys.
Is number 6, Davon Brown.
Jumped a little bit, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Make it 2nd and 12 for the Tigers.
And McKeesport's offensive line so far in this game has looked very undisciplined. A lot of penalties called up against them. Mustangs haven't been able to capitalize on all of them so far in this game.
And eventually, hopefully, they will be able to. We have 2:42 if you're just joining us, left here in the second quarter. The Mustangs down 28-0 to the Tigers.
Shears and quarterback, and he will throw, and that will be wide open. Number receiver 21, Kalik Hudson, who returned that for a touchdown. So it'll be 34-0. We said they had 2 touchdown passes last year against them after throwing just 12 passes coming into the game. This year, throwing just 15 passes coming into the game, and they will have a passing touchdown. Javon Shears to Kalik Hudson, 34-0 with 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And guys, I hate to say it, but I just think George Smith is such a good coach. When he sees blood, he'll go in for the kill, and that's exactly what he did. McKeesport, two of their last three plays, they've thrown passes. The first 2 passes.
And that kick is, sorry to interrupt, but that kick was blocked by the Mustangs line there. So
we haven't talked about it all year, guys. We have to talk about the mercy rule now being on the opposite end. The way the mercy rule works in the WPIAL is once one team gets ahead of another team by 35 points, McKeesport by 34, it becomes a continuous clock that runs, and it only begins in the second half. So even if McKeesport would have made that extra point, the continuous clock would not start until the second half. So Plum has to get something positive here. I just, if you would have told me the score was 34-0, I would have bet my life today when we talked about this in class, guys, that no way is that the Plum McKeesport score.
Well, Mr. Barat, something else Khalid Hudson has had a very good game. It's definitely something you could have seen.
Sure.
It's definitely something that could have happened, and it is happening. Mustangs, it's not completely off the wall. He's having such a big game. So I wouldn't have been too surprised if you would have told me Khalid Hudson's numbers.
He's having a good game. Sure, no doubt. But, and Nolan, like we talked about today in class, if I'd have told you it was 34-0 with just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, you would have told me that, Mr. Barat, you're a big fat liar. You know, there's no way. I mean, this is, I think a lot of us are just stunned after the last season and a half that the Mustangs have had.
McKeesport now on to kickoff. Patrick Crossley back to return, and the kick is up. And it will bounce to the 5-yard line, and Crossley will pick it up, and he will run. He has a little bit of room. Now he will get tackled at about the 24-yard line. So with 2 minutes, 2:07, the exact time remaining in the half, McKeesport leads 34-0. They missed 2 extra points. One was blocked, the other one was missed to the left. They did get the 2-point conversion, and that's how we got on their point. 1 touchdown through the air in their last drive. All the other ones coming on the ground. Multiple different backs. And we see Matt Goodlin again in at quarterback. And this drive, not only important to the Mustangs, but important to him if he wants to come back in as a starting quarterback for the Mustangs. And he'll hand the ball off to Coxon. Coxon will get, looks like 3 yards on that one.
Well, Logan, if there's one positive aspect to this game for the Mustangs, it's what it always is. The special teams is having a pretty good game. I don't think they've had one kickoff return for less than 20 yards. They've blocked a field goal. They're keeping the other team in check on kickoffs, on punts. That's a positive for the Mustangs. Great special teams unit each game.
It's Matt Goodlin in a shotgun. He will hand the ball off to Coxon. Again, Coxon will get to the outside. He'll have a little bit of room, but run right into the McKeesport defender. He will get tackled down at the 33-yard line. So we will see third down, looks like 2 actually, coming up with 1:55 remaining in the first quarter. Actually 1 minute, misjudged the hand signals there by our cameraman Dylan Fantoni, who's having himself quite a day. Matt Goodlin in at quarterback and shotgun. He will hand the ball off again to Coxon, and Coxon will not get enough for the first down. Now we will see 4th down and 4. Looks like Mustangs are going to go for it.
Yeah, why not? It's 34-0. I mean, I don't know how much more you can do.
Actually, their offense is staying in the field, and their punt unit
yeah.
in the same huddle. It looks like McKeesport called a timeout. So that'll be they have 2 remaining in the half.
And you know what? I hate to say this. Nolan and I are sitting in the back here eating our pretzel rivets, and since we can only see half the field, I think they're going to throw again and try to get another touchdown.
No, I completely agree with you, Mr. Barat.
I'd
be surprised to see anything less.
Yes.
This McKeesport team, they're relentless.
Yes.
They get a lead, they'll jump on it,
and they get right for the jugular.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And we will see the punt unit trot onto the field.
And I think the only thing you can do is like what Trafford did against them. You get up on them and force them out of the run game. Yeah. That changes the whole entire outcome, is what Plum had to do. Once they get up, they just submit their will on you, and it's just like a slow and painful death almost.
And we're looking from being down. This is not a good position for the Mustangs going into the second half.
Punt was almost blocked, but Chappie will get it off and will roll all the way down to the 23-yard line. There was just Cromartie back to return there, not Khalid Hudson. They've been doing both of them back to return so far in this game, but that was the first time we just saw Cromartie. So with 32 seconds remaining in the half, McKeesport leads this one 34-0. We invite you to join us as we will see both marching bands come onto the field at halftime. I believe Plum will go first, being an away game. It will be followed by McKeesport's marching band.
Get to hear our the Plum, their 3 songs for their halftime presentation. We'll see if McKeesport comes out here and runs guys or if they'll pass. I don't know what happened there. No, did you see what happened?
I believe he.
Did he spike the ball?
I couldn't tell if he kneeled it or spiked it, because if he kneeled it, it'd just run the clock out.
What's that, Matt? Yeah, he took a knee.
Was it a knee? Okay. Running out the clock.
Showing some respect going into the second half, McKeesport.
Interesting if the ball was at midfield if he would have done that. But regardless. And as we're down now, is Dylan. We can't show you the scoreboard, but you can see the teams are walking away, and a stunned Plum football team marches off the field, guys, down 34-0 to the McKeesport Tigers.
I think just going into the second half, I mean, Plum is really they're gonna have to throw the ball, obviously, just to try to get something moving downfield, and it's not something that they're really comfortable doing. So it should be interesting to see how Plum responds in the second half.
We'll bring you our halftime report a little bit later. I'll keep the recap a little bit simple. McKeesport got 1 touchdown through the air, the rest on the ground game by multiple backs. They missed 2 extra points, but they got a 2-point conversion, and then it's how they lead 34-0 at halftime. Please stay tuned and watch both our marching bands perform. The first one will be your Plum Mustang marching bands performing their Elvis tribute, and then we see McKeesport's show immediately following that.
We hope you love dancing to that jailhouse rock, you hound dog. In our final movement, we hit you with the Elvis classics of Hound Dog, Love Me Tender, and Jailhouse Rock.
Left the building. number include the samba, the tango, and the rumba. Band is led onto the field by drum majors Abigail Altieri and Ariane Winkleblack. We open this evening's performance with Asa Piazzolla's familiar Liver Tango. The mysterious flavor of the tango is heard throughout, accented in a trumpet trio filled with jealousy. Our soloists are Talana Jones, Abigail Altieri, and Ariane Winkleblack. Band closes their show with Rumba Soyo by Ricard Lembo, highly percussive dance tune featuring trombone soloist Bria Christian and the call and response section of the tune. Ladies and gentlemen, the McKeesport Tiger Marching Band.
I know it's expensive.
We should talk about how they renamed the field last week.
Yeah.
And we are back. We'll be working on getting you guys stats. Mr. Brott and Nolan are trying to find our stat man. We will begin our halftime show as Noah Frederick will read us today's birthdays and this day in history.
Some birthdays here on October 16th. John Mayer, he's turning 38. He's a musician. Bryce Harper, a famous baseball player for the Nationals. He just turns 23 today. Flea, he's a musician, bassist specifically for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He turned 53 today. Novelist Oscar Wilde, he passed away on November 30th, 1900. He most notably wrote The Importance of Being Earnest. He would have been 162 today. Another birthday would be Manute Ball. He was a basketball player. He died just a few years ago on June 19th, 2010. He was of Sudan descent and was one of the tallest players ever to play in the NBA at 7'7". He would have been 54 today. Just this day in history, in 1978, John Paul II was elected Pope. In 1972, Broadway Joe Namath appeared on the cover of Time magazine. Joe Namath, a Pittsburgh native. In 1995, the Million Man March took place in Washington, D.C. On this day in history, 1946, Red Wings great Gordie Howe played in his first NHL game. And in 1992, Magic Johnson played in his first pro game since coming out of retirement.
As we mentioned in our pregame last week, this field was renamed to George L. Smith Field at Weigel Schaefer Memorial Stadium. Interesting fact, George L. Smith, his senior in 1966, he was senior in high school. He was the final team coached by Duke Weigel and Ding Schaefer, who the stadium is named after. So now George L. Smith gets to share the spotlight, being a great coach, as we've talked about throughout the game, one of the better coaches in Whitbeals. As he gets to share the spotlight with some of his mentors.
No, that's something, Logan. Our cameraman, Dylan Fantone, let's grab the mic. How you doing tonight, Dylan?
I'm doing good. It's really hard to get this with the window seal right now.
Yeah, well, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work, Dylan.
Thank you, Nolan.
Some scores from other games. Penn Trafford is leading Shaler 35-0. Central Catholic is leading Seneca Valley 28-7. Upper St. Clair leads Cannon Mac 14-0. Hempfield leads Latrobe 34-0. Pine Richland leads Butler 22-3. Kiski leads Altoona 6-0. Connellsville leads Norwin 21-16. North Allegheny leads Fox Chapel 35-0. Bethel Park leads Penn Hills 14-3. Some other games going on. North Hills is taking on Mount Lebanon. We do not have a score on that one, nor do we have on one of the better matchups today, West Allegheny against Woodland Hills. Both number 1 ranked teams. West Allegheny number 1 ranked in AAA, and Woodland Hills number 1 ranked in Quad A. And taking over for Dylan on the camera is the real deal, Mr. Rick Barat. So Dylan, as we said, joins us on a headset for the first time tonight.
How you doing, Dylan?
Still good.
Still good?
Still good.
That's good. We're all excited to hear your analysis. We don't get to hear you on the mic that much.
Yeah, mainly filming.
Yeah.
So before they kick off, some other interesting stuff about George Smith. This field is now at least a third named after. It was unveiled last week. It was announced all the way back in June. The game was against Hopewell. It was their homecoming, so they added to the homecoming festivities for McKeesport. He's 218, 110, and 5 with 2 state championships and 2 Whippeal championships at McKeesport during his 30-year tenure, which he took a bit of a break in 2010 for 3 years after he disagreed with the school board on his salary, along with some of the facilities, the athletic facilities taking place at McKeesport. But he ended up coming back after he didn't think McKeesport was going uphill. And now we will see McKeesport about to kick off. That is, again, number 36, Ray Zellers. Patrick Crossy, of course, back to return.
Plum needs a big return here, and that's it, really.
And this one will bounce at the 11. Crossy will pick it up and return. And get tackled at about, looks like they're going to spawn down at the 25-yard line.
Oohs and ahs from the crowd. Big hit from McKeesport.
This stuff during that 3-year length, 3-year, you say, break that George Smith took. Jim Ward was the coach, and they went 19-11, 15-5 in conference. And they totally switched how the playing styles went to a much more common Mustang or high school playing style. We always see Patrick Crossy come in at quarterback in the Wildcat formation. Here's a snap. You hand it off to Coxon. Coxon will run up the middle, and he will get nothing. We mentioned a lot last game. They went with a lot of different Wildcat quarterbacks early in the season, especially at North Hills. I believe at total they had 8 different quarterbacks. My brother shakes his head in agreement. We saw a lot of different quarterbacks. Now there's pretty much just 3. Corey Thomas, Matt Goulin has gotten a little bit of work tonight and last week, and Patrick Crossy has solidified himself as the Wildcat quarterback.
Something we haven't seen a lot from the Mustangs thus far is play action. I think that if they utilize the play action, they might see some success. If they've been running the ball a lot, it might fool McKeesport's defense.
And Crossy on the keeper who runs outside, but it won't matter as a flag stops the play before it even began. It looks like it will be against the Mustangs, and that will back them up 5 yards.
Mustangs certainly improving on playing smarter, taking less penalties. That's been an issue throughout the year with the Mustangs. Certainly they've talked about it in practice, worked on what they can do, what they can't do, worked on staying headstrong, which is not that easy of a task, Logan, being down 34 points at halftime. So kudos to the Mustangs for their smart play.
10:29 remaining in the third quarter. Matt Goodland in at quarterback now. We haven't seen Corey Thomas since, I believe, early second quarter. It might have been first quarter. We saw him last. It will be Goodland in now. He'll shotgun, and he will throw, and he will complete to Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown will get the first down a little bit more. He'll get tackled from behind. That was Ray Zeller as he's been kicking it off for them, and he makes the tackle there. That'll be a first down for the Mustangs. Just their second first down of the game for them.
Looks like their longest offensive play of the game tonight, Logan. I believe that's their third first down.
Huge play for the Mustangs, by the way. I mean, they really need to get the ball rolling, and that's a huge drive starter, momentum builder. They just got to, again, just build off of that and take this one down the field.
So first down and 10, ball in their own 38-yard line. Goodland will hand the ball off to Brown, and Brown will be hit like in 25. Just saw Allen.
Allen came in there like a rocket. Big hit, big stop. Read that run well. Took out Brown, left side of the field. He knew it was coming. He jumped on it. Smart play by McKeesport.
9:15 remaining in the third quarter here. Second down and 13 for the Mustangs. Second down and 12 for the Mustangs. Matt Goodland in a quarterback in shotgun. Kevin Brown behind him. Mustangs trailing this game 34-0. And Goodland will hand the ball off. It was actually number 7, Jaleel Bay.
You got to think, Logan, at some point in this game, they got to stop playing small ball. They got to stop going for those inside runs. They got to look down the field, try to get a score.
So we see third down and 10 now. As we get under 9 minutes here in the third quarter. Mustangs still trailing this one 34-0. Matt Goodland in at quarterback. Obvious passing situation for the Mustangs. They need to get something on the board here if they want to be somewhat in this game. Empty backfield set. Goodland will throw. He will scramble to buy himself some time. He will stay and he will hit his man, but it won't be for first down. We'll see if they roll it a completion here.
Not a bad play by Matt Goodland, by the way. I mean, you don't get the pass off, but stop the clock.
So they will roll it a catch.
Oh.
So it'll be fourth down and 6, but it won't matter as the punt unit comes on. That one that, as Noah said, that was a very good play by Matt. So he was able to buy himself some time and at least complete something. And there's a high punt again by Jake Chapla. And it will be caught and not returned. 22-yard line. So it's a good time. You mentioned earlier today's question. Last year, Plum led 3-0 at half versus McKeesport. How long was Jake Chapla's field goal? Mr. Barat threw out a guess for 40 yards, and he will actually have mixed feelings to know that he was off by 1 yard. 41 yards was the field goal.
Mr. Barat, I'm surprised in you.
How long was Jake Chappie's longest field goal?
51.
51.
Oh,
It's a school record. He broke Pat
Keep in mind,
McAfee's.
we do have a history of good kickers at Plum. That's not an easy task, especially at Plum.
Noah and Mr. Barat discussed the Whitfield record is 57. It's the longest field goal. Jake Chapel is 51.
He could do it. He's got the leg.
If he gets the chance, he could do it.
In practice, I've seen him nail one from midfield. It's just
It's
about
completely
game
different.
situation.
Yeah. How the holder holds it, the wind, the weather conditions, pressure, obviously, and just being in the game is certainly different than in practice. You know?
Sutton on the keeper will get a yard. Now under 6 minutes 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Now, I had some experiencing with kicking when I lived in San Diego. Kicking in a practice is so much different than kicking in actual games. You get the complete anxiety of like how far away it is, and if you don't think you're gonna make it, you're letting your team down, stuff like that. So obviously that 57, if Chappie tried taking that, he's gonna have some mixed feelings about that.
Well, obviously as well, you got to remember that this is a person who's holding the ball. You know, this isn't the sticks that they use. This isn't a tee. This is a person. Errors can occur on the snap, on the hold. It's not just about Chappell and his foot.
So it looks like the Mustangs defense will make a stop here as the handoff to number 21, Kalik Hudson, does not get them a yard with 5:30 remaining in the third quarter.
Good play by Plum's defense. I mean, all game, Kalik's been breaking those for long runs, most from touchdowns. Just really to stop him there, huge play by the Mustangs.
So Patrick Crossy back to return. It is still just the third quarter, but this is a very important drive for the Mustangs, and they want to get back in this football game. Crossy will say no to the return and let this one bounce inside the Mustangs' 35-yard line. They're actually spotted at the 30. So the Mustangs will start this drive at the 30-yard line, approaching 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Mustangs trail this one 34-0.
Remember, Logan, the mercy rule is not kicked in yet. This is not a running clock. Them blocking that kick has given them a lot extra time, so that's certainly beneficial to them in the second half. And in the long run, the outcome of the game, punch one in here, and then mercy rule buys them more time as they would not be up 34.
Corey Thomas in at quarterback now. We'll mention the mercy rule kicks in at 35. It is 34-0. And Corey Thomas will throw, and he will get hit from behind. It'll be a sack. Looks like a loss of 4 on that one. So it'll be 2nd and 14 on the 26-yard line, under 5 minutes now in the third quarter.
Second half seems to be going a lot better for the Mustangs in the first half by now.
Exact time, 4:30. Mr. Barat taking over Dylan Fantone's duties, telling us the time, filming this game for us. The real deal does it all. Matt Goodman at quarterback now, in shotgun.
I would hope he does it all. He films it. He has a TV class.
Hand off to Kevin Brown, who will run to the outside and get hit. Looks like they're going to give him 2. Doesn't look like much up here. So we see 3rd down and 11 now, with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Begs the question, who has more versatility, Mr. Broad or Kalik Hudson? Kalik Hudson, we just talked about at halftime, him playing all sides, all positions on defense. He's also one of their best threats as a running back. It's really hard to study his film because there's no indication as to where he's going to set up, where he's going to start on defense. He is a mystery, much like Mr. Broad himself.
Thanks, guys. At quarterback now is Corey Thomas. He will throw, and a great throw to Zach Nolan, but it will not give him much. And we will see 4th down and 8 coming up for the Mustangs. Looks like they're going to give him, Mr. Ross says they might have given him a yard, but it looks like they're going to give him a couple.
Not often do you see the big tight end Zach Nolan take that kind of hit. He really delivered the blow on that one, the defender.
And Corey Thomas made a nice throw over the McKeesport defender to pretty much the only guy that was open, but it will not give them much. So we're approaching 3 minutes here remaining in the third quarter. Patrick Crossy to punt.
Patrick Crossy.
My apologies. My apologies, Jake Chappell. I don't know why I said Patrick Crossy. It was number 22, Mark Camardi, who let it bounce out.
At this point in the game, you can try anything. Throw Pat in the punt.
Exactly.
Experimentation.
Something that I'm a big advocate for in the game of football is the use of tight ends. Zach Nolan not getting a whole lot of touches this game or a lot of other games. I say we look to him more. He's a big guy, very physical. He's got good hands, too, for a tight end. Put the ball in his hands, see what he can do.
He was All-American last year Actually, not All-American, All-Whippeal last year for tight end. So you see number 22, Cromartie, onto the outside. Looks like he got back to the lines, what the officials will say. So you see 2nd down and 10 coming up with 2:30.
Very good tackle by Pat Crossy, by the way. Wrapping up, that's just what the Mustangs need to continue to do. Not let guys break loose, really, because as you've seen, when that happens, they more often than not take it all the way.
So 2nd down and 10. Clock ticking under 2:30 now. McKeesport's letting as much time tick away. Now at 2 minutes. Wow. 30 seconds tick off there. McKeesport throw, there's a flag. It looks like a Mustang lineman jumped a little bit too early. It looks like it might be an offsides against the Mustangs. One thing we have seen the Mustangs do a little bit better this game is they haven't been called as much for penalties compared to last week when they had 16 called against them. McKeesport's had a bunch called against them today. We apologize, we couldn't get the exact statistics for you due to us being up here in the small confines of the press box. And there's a snap. It'll be a handoff. Couldn't see who was handing off to. It will be Hudson until he gets up. And looks like he a little bit upset with the carry there. They'll give him a yard. So we see 3rd down and 4 with 1:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
One thing the Mustangs are doing a lot better in this second half is just getting all 11 guys to the ball. In the first half, you saw a lot of missed tackles, and they're doing a lot better in the second half.
And there's a snap. It is a throw, and it'll be intercepted by Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown's going to run up the sideline. He'll get past the 50. He'll get down to the 40. Down to the 30. He has some room, and Kevin Brown is going to trot his way, looks like, into the end zone for the first Mustang touchdown of this game. This will be 34-6. Likely 34-7 on the leg of Jake Chapla, as the Mustangs are trying everything to get right back into this football game. They still have a ways to go. But like we've said,
by the Mustangs.
Like Nolan said earlier in this game, there's still some left, and anything can happen.
Yes, I say that. Seems like I've been saying that a lot lately, Logan, with the games that we've been playing, but it is true. You know, in the game of football, you're never out. One play like that, shift momentum. We'll see what they can do on offense. And how about Kevin Brown coming up clutch with an interception, running it back for a touchdown, as the offense has had trouble moving the ball down the field, getting a touchdown. He's doing the work for them. Perhaps he can inspire some of the Mustangs on the offensive side. And we'll see how they go about this next drive.
And Chapla's kick is up, and it is good. So the Mustangs will tack on 7. It'll be 34-7. Now is the score with 48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Mustangs buying themselves some time. We said McKeesport only needed 1 score to put on the mercy rule in effect, but now Mustangs are buying themselves time to get back into this game. Just the 3rd pass of the game from McKeesport. They had a touchdown, they had an incompletion, and now they had an interception. The passing game never been a part of their offense. We've seen it the past couple of years.
Logan, look for McKeesport here, as we mentioned earlier. They smell blood, they attack. Look for them to throw the ball. Try to get a couple, another touchdown, bury Plum. That's what they're going to be trying to do. They got an interception. They're not discouraged. They have a very good quarterback, very good options. And they're going to, I believe they're going to try to throw the ball. They're going to try to run up the score. And they're going to try to get the mercy rule. Perhaps even go for 2.
Here's something that Plum hasn't seen all game long, and that's, once. That's kicking the ball off. See how Khalid Hudson does with the kick return as opposed to punt.
This will be just the 2nd kick of the game for Chapla. He's had a lot of punts. He had the opening kickoff that looks like they tried to get some onside recovery, but ended up giving McKeesport the ball at the 39-yard line, their own 39-yard line. And this one is up, and this one is a long kick. will not go in the end zone. We see the return from Cromartie. Cromartie will run up the middle. He jukes off and he runs into his own guy. He was break off from a Mustang defender. And it will take multiple Mustangs. I was going to say get him down, but he will actually be pushed out of bounds. There's a flag on the play.
That was scary. He almost got out of that gang tackle there and took that one all the way.
There's a flag on the field. I should have blown the whistle.
Looks like, wait and see who it is on, but there is a flag. It'll be a personal foul on the Mustangs. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty at the spot of the foul.
Plum just can't seem to get a break here.
Well, they can't afford to take these penalties. No, it's something that they've struggled with. They've worked on. They've definitely improved going into this game, but that's something they can't afford, especially, being down such a tremendous amount. It's something they got to play smart above all else. They got to keep their focus, keep their composure.
If you're just joining us, well into our way in the third quarter here, 34-7. McKeesport leads it. Joining me in the booth is Noah Frederick, Nolan Carney, Dylan Fantone, and Rick Barat. And we'll be handed off. It'll be a run up the middle. Looks like it'll be down at the 46-yard line. Looked like maybe a little generous of a spot by the officials. Looks like that is so that might be the last play of the third quarter, as McKeesport will likely just let this clock run out. We'll wait till it officially ticks away. And that is the end of the third quarter. Your Mustangs were able to win that quarter, putting up 7 points. It's now 34-7. McKeesport leads this one. They have the ball on the 46-yard line, the second down and 6. The third quarter, very much well done by the Mustangs.
McKeesport definitely an area has lots of love for football and their football team. Driving in, we see kids throwing balls around. We see parents talking to parents, getting excited. People, just want to come down. They want to watch Friday Night Football. McKeesport, great venue, lots of history. Lots of history of great football. It's exciting. It's exciting to be here. It really is, nice to see high school football and what it can do and how it can bring together, a community. Really, this is more than a game. This is an experience, and McKeesport is certainly helping, push their popularity in the community. They're a great team, very well coached. They've got lots of stars on their team, and it's exciting as a fan to watch your community do so well, instills a sense of pride that is certainly present here in McKeesport on Friday nights.
There is a huge game for McKeesport if they do indeed hold on to this large lead, 34-7. McKeesport starts the fourth quarter. And Sutton will hand the ball off to Hudson. Hudson trying to stiff arm his way for a first down, but they're going to spot him about 4 yards short. So we see third down and 4. He was knocked out of bounds, so the clock does stop with 11, just under 11:51 remaining in the game. We'll talk about this game is very important. McKeesport holds on to this lead. They will pretty much clinch the number 2 spot in the section. And Plum could be looking at number 4 spot. A very tough playoff game early for them. Sutton, we run up the middle, and he will get the first down, and he will get tackled at the 37-yard line. And the Mustangs, if they do indeed end up losing this game, Norwin and Kiski could end up tying the Mustangs. So the Mustangs would need to win next week against Penn Trafford. one of the better teams in all of Whitfield football.
Penn Trafford home game next week. It's marching band senior night, good atmosphere. We're going to have to come in with a better game plan than we did against McKeesport. Can't give up first half points like we did to the extent that we did this game.
And Hudson carry that one. You get tripped up at about the 36 yard line. So we see 2nd down and 9 for the McKeesport Tigers. As we're approaching under 11 minutes now in the game.
Talking to a lot of the players, and Logan, you really understand that they knew what they were going into the next couple games. PT, McKeesport, 2 very good teams. That's one of the reasons why the loss to Kiski hurt so bad.
And Hudson will break a tackle. He will break another tackle, but end up tripping over his own 2 feet. Looks like they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Not too challenging the first sort of half of the schedule, Logan, but looking ahead, you know what you're going up against McKeesport and PT, and you understand that the games before that are must-win games. And like I said, that's why the loss to Kiski hurt so bad. We did rebound nicely. We beat Connellsville. We crushed Connellsville. That was a great win. A lot of momentum going in the McKeesport game, but they shut us down early. Got the first touchdown, got the second touchdown, the third, and so on. And that really shut us down. After this week, we just got to put this game, assuming that McKeesport does pull through, we just got to put it behind us, look forward to PT.
So holding call on McKeesport will back them up 10 yards. You see 2nd down and 19 for the Tigers. There's a snap. Sutton, who will throw in the middle, and he'll be caught. This will be number 23. Karik Sales will get up the middle. It's the 4th pass thrown on McKeesport this game. They came into this game throwing just 15 passes on the year. They were 0 for 1 last week. They've had a touchdown, an incompletion, an interception, a completion to the 20. One of everything.
But when you have so much depth, such good running backs, Logan, like I said, 9 different running backs, 36 attempts at their last game, throwing doesn't have to be such a big part of your offense.
And Sutton will hand the ball off this time to number 25, Josiah Allen, who will get to the 11-yard line, and we will see 2nd down and 1 for the Tigers.
Now we got 2nd down and 1.
Yes, 2nd down and 1 from McKeesport. Plum need to come up big with the stopper.
So backed up. Now the Mustangs defense inside their own 10. And Sutton will pitch this one off. And that was number 23, Karik Sales, who had the nice catch earlier in this drive. We get the 1st down, and we'll put them at the 3-yard line. So if McKeesport gets a touchdown here and gets the 2-point conversion, that will set forth the mercy rule on the Mustangs, which means that there will be a running clock no matter what happens on the play, whether it be an incompletion or knocked out of bounds, or even a 1st down. The clock will just keep on ticking. And looks like they will get the touchdown there. So McKeesport now leads this one 40-7. I will be surprised if they don't go for the 2-point conversion here. As we talked about George Smith and how he likes to just put his players away. As we hear in the McKeesport student section, all the way at the other side of the field, starting to cheer into this broadcast booth, getting very, very loud, getting very pumped up.
It's like pajama night over there for the McKeesport student section, Logan.
That's indeed what it looks like. As yes, we will see McKeesport go for 2. And they'll hand the ball off to number 25, Giselle Allen, who runs it into the end zone. That will make it 42-7. That will put intact the mercy roll, and now we will see a running clock with 8:19 remaining in the game.
Who does Allen look like to you guys? Like when he runs like that to an NFL player? Who does he remind you of?
Well, he looks like a big power back. They usually use him in the short yard situations.
Looks to me almost like I don't want to quite say Marshawn Lynch because, compared to the rest of the running backs in the league, he doesn't quite have the prestige that Marshawn Lynch does, but he's certainly not afraid to drill the ball up the middle. He's a fearless back, Dylan, and that's something that Marshawn Lynch is famous for. He plays a lot like a fullback. He plays a lot. He plays a lot of strong football, a lot of hard football, and it's not the most exciting thing to watch. A lot of people say those fast halfbacks breaking left and right, those Le'Veon Bells, they're fat and that's the exciting thing to watch. But I disagree. I think those fullbacks who are reliable and dependent, not even the fullbacks, but just the strong running backs that you can trust to drill the ball up the middle, get a couple yards every now and then. That's really what is the backbone of a good running offense.
Kind of like Jerome Bettis in the top 10 in rushing, but averaging just 3.8 yards on his carries.
Yes.
The reason it took him so long to get into the Hall of Fame. He's top 10 in rushing yards all time. So we see the kickoff here. Crossy will return this one at about the 20-yard line. And he will run up through the middle and get tackled at about the 40-yard line. So the Mustangs will start this drive here at their 40. And coming out at quarterback, we'll see Corey Thomas. We mentioned he was benched earlier in this game. We saw Matt Goodwin in. We saw Patrick in for a couple of plays at Wildcat. And now we will see Corey back in here about midway through the fourth quarter.
I think here the Mustangs just need to be smart with the ball, but don't be too conservative. I don't want to see any more of the running up the middle. I feel like they need to start playing the slants, the outs, the hooks, the curls, and just gain yards.
So Corey Thomas in a quarterback now, 4 wide receivers out, and he will throw. It will be a deep ball. There's Ashton Teeter. He has him, and just over the outstretched arm of Ashton Teeter, one of the faster receivers in the league. So the clock.
There's a flag on the play, if you look. Yeah, it looks to be a personal foul on McKeesport for, roughing the passer. He looks like one of the linemen for McKeesport.
Hit. So they'll move them up 15 yards.
You see
6:52. Actually, 7:46. We talked about the versatility of Mr. Rick Barat, but Dylan Fantone having a much better day, relaying the numbered signals.
Numbers are not Mr. Barat's specialty. He is a TV teacher and not a math teacher.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get back to football here.
Yeah, Logan, come on.
Great field position.
Corey Thomas in shotgun. And he will throw. He actually gets sacked. This will be a loss of 4 on that one. So we see 2nd down and 14. Ball on the McKeesport 49-yard line. This is obvious 4-down territory for the Mustangs. So try to put something onto this board. 42-7 the score. The Mustangs' lone touchdown coming off the huge interception return by Kevin Brown. McKeesport, 1 touchdown through the air. All the other ones on the ground by multiple backs. We saw Allen, we saw Hudson, we saw Cromartie. A very good game rushing for them. Corey Thomas in shotgun, and he will throw again. He has man open, but he will overthrow Ashton Teeter in the middle.
You gotta you got to be trying these throws. Logan, you're down. Mercy roll's in effect. You might as well. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem that the Mustangs have a whole lot of urgency, you know, walking back to the line, calling their plays, getting in the huddle, calling their plays, going back to the line. It doesn't seem like they're too concerned about the running clock in the fourth quarter. Now we have third down, third and long, and you can expect that they're gonna pass it.
6 minutes remaining in the game now. Corey Thomas in shotgun. 4 wide receivers out, and of course he will throw. He scrambles into the outside, you see here, and he tries to hit Ashton Teeter again. And that'll be out of bounds. So now we see 4th down, 14, and the punt unit will trot onto the field. It looks like the Mustangs may have conceded this victory to the McKeesport Tigers, who have just played an amazing game again this week.
Amazing on both sides of the ball, too, Logan. You know, they're really rushing the quarterback well, not giving a whole lot of time to make good passes, good throws. And the offense, obviously, you know, putting up 42 points.
And there's the punt by Chapla. It'll be a fair caught inside the 20. It's the 19 to be exact. McKeesport will start this drive with 5 minutes remaining. Actually 5:09. Again, there's confusion with the hand signals by Mr. Rick Barat.
Mr. Barat, you should be feeling my struggle now.
He puts his hood up in perhaps shame. McKeesport starts this drive at their own 19. As they will let the play clock tick all the way down to 1 second. Actually, pushing 4, 3, 2, 1, and they will not get the play off. So they call a timeout there, so that will stop. Mr. Broad, your analysis on the mercy roll. See what
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys making fun of me also.
You're welcome.
No, the clock's not supposed to run. As we said, it was just 5:09 left. The only time the clock's supposed to stop during the mercy roll is for an injury or change of possession. So obviously Jake Chapla just punted the ball, so it should have still been 5:09. The clock reads right now 4:45. Someone just got suspended in the Steelers-Chargers game for improper clock management. Am I correct?
Yeah.
We lost 18 seconds to the Steelers' benefit in the long run, but regardless, it's 4:45. So Plum punting, as you just said, Logan, kind of conceded that the Plum's not going to win this game down by 35 points.
It's the Mustangs.
That was Mr. Barat handling the camera and talking into the headset. Quite talented. Well said, Mr. Barat.
That'll be the pitch to the outside. That'll be pitched to number 23, Kyrique Sales. We've seen him a lot today, especially here late. And he'll let more clock.
4:15 remaining. Oh, I got that one, Logan. It's okay. Sign language is my specialty. 4:15 remaining. McKeesport ball. Second down on that outside pitch. Looks like second down in 5. Second down in 6, around there. McKeesport running out the clock as much as they can as to preserve their victory.
And now they will take the line. We get under 10 seconds in the play clock here. Tymor Sutton will hand the ball off to, looks like number 23 again, Kyrique Sales. There's now 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game. Here, the McKeesport marching band trying to do the wave of some fans for Plum at the key. Well,
Logan, perhaps if Plum did not block that field goal. The game very well might have been over by now, you know. About 3 minutes, give or take, left on the clock. That 3 minutes, you know, running clock with the mercy rule. Game probably would have been over now if Plum had not blocked that field goal. So keep that in mind as we are watching with the camera, watching the game.
Looks like one referee threw a flag. So it's 3rd and 5 there. It will be a gain of nothing, but it looks like they might not have been able to get the play called off. We'll wait to see the call, but referee threw his flag. So it looks like yep, they will wave the flag off. Referee thought that they ran out of, should be declined. So it'll be 4th down now and 5. McKeesport on the punt. So Plums to climb that penalty. You start seeing fans start to clear out here. McKeesport leads this one 42-7. There is the punt. It is a short punt, but will take a McKeesport bounce, and Crossy will return and get hit and tackled. Looks like they're going to give him the 44-yard line. There are 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game. Mustangs start this drive at their own 44-yard line.
Now, if I'm the Mustangs here, I'm just trying to make this a respectable loss. I mean, you just got to go out there and play with whatever you have left, really, and just try to put some points on the board and keep McKeesport from getting the ball back and possibly scoring even more points.
As we mentioned, next week, Plum is at PT. Very hard opponent, very good offense, good on defense as well. It is a home game. Home game for the Mustangs, as I mentioned. It's senior night for the members of the Plum Band. So lots of people cheering them on. We'll see how that turns out.
And there's a false start call on the Mustangs. Macklin in at quarterback. There's now under 2 minutes remaining in the game here. As we mentioned, fans starting to clear up. McKeesport fans staying and cheering on their team. McKeesport leads this one 42-7. Under 2 minutes left in the game. The 1st down and 15. Ball on the 39-yard line for the Mustangs. Macklin in at quarterback. You see Dylan Whiteman. We haven't seen him get the ball a lot recently. He's been more known on defense. Recently, the handoff there will go to Jaleel Bay. They'll get 5 yards back. Which looks like they're going to give him 6. So we see 2nd down and 9 now for the Mustangs. As there is 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the game.
Game like this sure can't hurt Kelly Cutson's resume. Huh, Logan?
No, cannot. A great game he has played. Already Division I prospect. We know Pitt is looking at him. Actually for a defensive back position, not a running back position.
I heard Penn State is also showing interest.
And there's the handoff to Bay there, who get hit behind the line for a loss of 2. So we see 3rd down and 11 coming up.
Usually you see student sections start to disappear by now when the game's like this much of kind of a blowout. But McKeesport's student section is just staying here.
Yeah, very loyal, very you know, it's a cool night. A lot of them aren't wearing too much protection. It's pajama night, and they're loyal. They're staying. They're watching their McKeesport Tigers slowly but surely attempt to pull out a victory.
Clock ticks away here. Looks like this will be the last play of the game. Mustangs will hand it off to Bay. Bay will run to the outside. He have a late burst there, but will not get anything.
And
that will be the game. McKeesport with a huge win over number 8 ranked Mustangs, 42-7. Certainly helped them in the rankings. Pretty much solidify the number 2 spot in the section and guarantee them a home playoff game. Guys, your thoughts? I'll start with you, Noah.
I mean, it's difficult to kind of comment on this game just because it was such a blowout. Plum it's very difficult to get much going on offense. they had one huge defensive play, but other than that, really the entire McKeesport offense ran all over the field, and especially in the first half. In the second half, I feel like the Mustangs defense really became more consistent. They were still giving up yards, but it was more around the 4 or 5 yardage range, not the 60-yard range. So I feel like they could just they just need to build on that consistency on defense and really amp up the offense to get ready next week for Penn Trafford.
Nolan, your thoughts?
Well, obviously, Logan, a big thing I didn't get to mention in our pregame was cut a little short. Big thing that I was going to talk about was the Mustangs' defense. Their defensive line played pretty well, but as far as their secondary, as far as the people, going the outside runs, the pitches, they didn't do too well, and that was ultimately what put them ahead in the first half, put the nail in the coffin. And the Mustangs' offense, they couldn't run the ball, wasn't very successful. And to counteract that, they tried getting deep passes, trying to get the almost Hail Mary-like passes, but they didn't have enough time. The quarterbacks, Matt Goodland, you saw got put in there later in the game, and he couldn't get the ball off. Plum really struggled. Their offensive line really struggled keeping McKeesport at bay, and that prevented them from, throwing the deep passes. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. They didn't play defense very well. It's going to be a hard practice for the boys coming up on Monday.
Mr. Barat, your thoughts?
I don't know. I disagree a little bit with Nolan. You thought Plum would be able to play and be a competitive game tonight. I don't know. I mean, Plum struggled a little bit to tackle, but you can't beat up on the guys too much. You have a huge game next week against the Warriors from Penn Trafford. Plum was outplayed on almost every facet of tonight's game. So you have to take it. You just got beat pretty bad. You learn from it and you move on. I mean, if you beat on the guys a little too much, I mean, as soon as if Penn Trafford would get up 7-0, 14-0, that game might be as good as over. So, it is what it is. You have to just wait. Plum still has the opportunity to finish 3rd or 4th in the section, or 5th. So they've already clinched the playoff spot. So they have the Penn Trafford Warriors coming into their stadium next week. So not the outcome we thought tonight, but you have to take it and build from it.
Dylan, your thoughts?
I kind of agree with Mr. Barat about how you can't really beat up on the guys that much. And I do think they need to work on their passing more. They are running. They're mainly a running team, but I think they need to work on passing for Penn Trafford and work on that mainly.
The Mustangs will now move to 5-2 on the year, 4-2 in section. McKeesport 6-1, 5-1 in section. Mustangs 316, 384, 27 all-time. McKeesport 622, 392, and 47 all-time. Thanks you again for joining us. I'm Logan Carney. Joining today was Mr. Barat, Nolan Carney, Dylan Fantone, and newcomer Noah Frederick, who did a good job in his first game.
Absolutely.
And the final score of this one, McKeesport wins 42-7. Please join us next week as the Mustangs will take on Penn Trafford at Mustang Stadium. Thank you again for watching.
Good night, everybody.
Mustang TV.